Richie Rich!
Joe, hello.
Johnny wearing a Snoop Dogg jersey.
I got my Snoop.
Is that the one from
my
him?
Snoop gear.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
It's pretty cool,
Right.
honestly.
It is very cool.
It's a short sleeve sweatshirt. I don't even know what to call that.
Well, we've heard that Snoop story
it's a
so many
zip up
times.
The front. Zip
Nice.
up the front, Snoop Dogg.
I like it.
It's silky smooth.
Just
zip,
like you, buddy.
Zip, it like a lounge jumper
like Snoop.
top.
A lounge jumper top. I like it, especially over the collared button-up shirt.
Yeah, that part.
Well, that was not planned.
That
and
part
then
looks dorky.
and then I also brought in my one of the
John
Eagles.
Ritchie jersey.
Eagles
awesome.
jersey.
This is background material, boys and girls.
Yes, these are for our show background.
On YouTube. Yeah,
Yes,
when
for
people
the
watch
back.
it. How are you, bud?
Great. Really great in many ways. Not great with what I saw last night.
No.
How the heck did Kepler do that?
What, drop the ball?
Yeah, I mean, the way that not just drop the ball, the most inopportune time possible.
Well, it didn't look like
that
if he was yeah.
like the punishment from the gods in some ways for whatever happened. That didn't even look natural. That type of drop. It's
sure.
like it exploded off his body. Like, what the heck? That is an ugly-looking miss.
So I would imagine Rob Thomson not too happy when that moment happened because
No! Can you imagine?
By the way, Rob Thomson what?
Yes, Rob Thomson for all of his faults.
Yep.
Previously for being too soft with the guys. Good for him.
I agree, John.
Way to be tough and way to stick to your guns.
I agree.
And that looked so awful last night, watching the ball blow up when Kepler tried to catch it. And that probably lost us the game.
Well, it was a huge moment.
I don't care. Yeah. I like that you did the right thing and you were, strong with Nick Castellanos. You clearly hit him where it hurts. And that matters. I think the streak, 236 straight games, obviously that matters to Nick Castellanos. And Topper's sending a message to those guys in the clubhouse. Hey, you know what? You do things the right way, or I'm going to hurt you where hit you where it hurts.
No, look, John, I agree. So, all right, let's set the stage here for everyone. Obviously, you can react to last night's game specifically. And by the way, it was brutal to have Kepler hitting fourth. I mean, that's a whole nother matter. That might have hurt Rob Thomson more than the drop. And you got to write Kepler's name fourth. But anyway, all right. So weak lineup last night. You got no Harper. You got no Castellanos by choice, meaning Rob Thompson's choice. So let's dive into that topic at 215-592-9494. Let's just make sure everyone understands what happened. We'll walk you through it, and then we'll react. So it starts with Monday night's game. And Phillies holding a lead, and Castellanos was removed from the game for defensive purposes. Very typical tactic in baseball history, but one that hadn't been utilized with Castellanos as a Phillies outfielder in his tenure here. So, we know someone like Rojas is better. There's a number of players out there, including Kepler, including Marsh, that are better defensive outfielders than Castellanos. So if you hold a lead, manager obviously holds the right to say, I'm going to put the three best defensive players out there and try to hold this lead at the end of the game. That was Rob Thompson's thing 2 nights ago. Castellanos comes off the field. He's not happy about it. He says something to Rob Thompson. Now, we wish we knew what the something was. We don't. It hasn't been said publicly. It may never get said publicly.
Can we assume it was likely just that's messed up?
I would imagine.
But something
I would not assume
I would
that.
not.
Yeah, I would assume the opposite.
He's not benching him for being like, hey, man, that's messed up.
Yeah.
You bench me.
Well, no, messed up with some F-bombs and this.
Right.
And
I think he said something offensive.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, but it depends what your definition of messed up is. Yes, I'm with both of you. I think he said something strong.
I think
about
he
it being messed
crossed
up.
a line.
Well, that's what Rob Thompson has said.
At Topper. He
presumably
got upset. Hey, to you.
Said something disrespectful.
Went too far.
Look, there's one of two things as I perceive it, or both likely that happened. And again, we don't know, and this gets a little dicey because you just don't know. But I would say he either said something directly to Rob Thomson expressing Castellanos' immense frustration in an aggressive way that was too much and disrespectful to the manager, or he might have pulled using a Jimmy Butler line when Butler was not a Sixer. You're choosing Rojas over me? Right? I mean, it could have been disrespectful to his teammate or about his teammate. That's possible. But either way, he said something, and Rob Thomson has publicly come out and said, so let's walk you through this. Rob Thomson came out publicly before the game and referred to it as inappropriate. Inappropriate. was the word Rob Thomson said. Castellanos says that Rob Thomson told him he, quote, crossed the line. So whether inappropriate or cross the line, that sort of concept has been put out there by the combination of Rob Thomson and Castellanos. Casti gets benched for the game last night. We certainly believe he probably, unless the player's arm fell off, was not going to be brought into the game even as a replacement player late in the game. He did not play in the game. He did not start in the game. Phillies lost the game. And by the way, they could have used him. Now, John, I agree with you 1,000,000%. I really applaud Rob Thomson for doing this. So let's circle back here a couple years. Rob Thomson has, a lot of people believed, been a player's manager.
Yeah.
The way you look
to his detriment.
The way a lot of people perceive it to his detriment.
Occasions.
So here's what I say. Good for Rob Thomson, first off. Forget the benching. First off, for saying, I don't believe this player is a good enough defensive player for me to have him in the game in the 8th or 9th inning of a close game that my team leads. Look, if you're down a run, you're probably going to keep Cassie's bat in the lineup. But if you're up a run or two, what Rob Thompson's... And let me just say this for everyone. Maybe some people are too young to know this or remember this, but let me just say this. There are, at a minimum, 2 teams in baseball history, at a minimum 2, maybe more, that did not win a World Series in part because the manager did not utilize the defensive replacement that they had utilized the whole year. 1977, the Phillies left Luzinski in left field. Ray, you know this.
Friday.
You were a kid growing up on this.
Yeah, I was a kid. Yeah.
I mean, Luzinski played in left field as the starter, but was typically replaced late in games the Phillies held the lead. Game 3 of 77, NLCS. He's not replaced. He misplays the ball. Phillies lose the game. It's an all-time Phillies loss to the Dodgers. Phillies lose that series, and with a 100-win team, don't win the World Series 2 weeks later. There's a lot of people that will always contend had Ozark pulled Luzinski out and done what he did the whole year, Phillies could have won the game, could have won the series, could have won the World Series.
Why did he not?
I don't, Rhea, do you remember that off the top of your head? Why did he not?
I'm trying to remember.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but he did. But he did not. Same thing. 86. Bill Buckner, the ball through his legs. He was replaced throughout that season, except in that inning of that game, which was Game 6 of the World Series. What's my point? Let's start with this. Good for Rob Thomson to say, I don't care if this guy's making $20 million, $100 million. I don't care nothing about any of that.
Or his streak. I don't care about his streak or whatever.
Yeah. If I deem a player better to win this game, I'm going to play that player. By the way, start putting your head the Trey Turner thing defensively, Bryce Harper thing defensively. These things can be a process to begin. This tells me Rob Thomson, who we all know could get canned 4 months from now if this Philly season doesn't end the way we want it. And he knows that. He's not a dummy. He knows that. So he begins with a weak defensive team, by the way. Let's not kid ourselves. They're a weak defensive team. So good for Rob Thomson for doing that. And then, John, to your point, in my opinion as well, good for Rob Thomson for laying down the law on Castellanos of, that's unacceptable. That's not the way we're going to be. Mm-hmm. Now, you can make the case very clearly that it hurt the Phillies' chances to win the game last night. They put a bad lineup out there. But you know what? I'll take that in the long term because to me, this isn't just about a message to Castellanos. It's a message to Trey Turner and Bryce Harper. I hope there's more of it. To me, it's a message to the whole team that we will do. And I'll give Sirianni. Let me tell you about Sirianni for a second.
I hope they take a second and open their eyes to this bigger message.
Well, that's the thing because look, Sirianni said to Saquon, "You're not going for the record. Love you, but we're not putting you in there for the record." He also looked at Saquon 11 different times that Saquon ran the ball to the 1 yard line and said, "I believe on this next play, Jalen Hurts gives us the best chance to score the touchdown." And I agree with that. So that's why you get tush push from the 1 yard line. But let's be real. It hurt Saquon's numbers. It hurt his MVP candidacy. Saquon had to deal with it, and to Saquon's credit, he did. But Saquon might have won the MVP if the 11 times he took the ball to the 1 yard line, he got the ball the next time. Let's just say he tacks on 9, 10, or 11 touchdowns. He might have been the MVP. But here's the deal. Sirianni's thing is, we will do on the play what we believe gives us the best chance to win the play, which gives us the best chance to win the game, which gives us the best chance to win the Super Bowl. I applaud Sirianni for that approach, and I applaud Rob Thomson, and maybe it's a little late to the game, but I applaud Rob Thomson in year 4 saying this is how it's going to be. That's the way I say it. I'm all in on what Rob Thomson did. By the way, I'm a Castellanos fan. I think he'll handle it okay. At least I certainly hope he does moving forward. You know, moments happen, blow-ups happen, situations happen, co-workers, superiors, inferiors, whatever you want to call them, bosses, employees, whatever. So Casty had a moment. It's okay. You're allowed to have a moment. It's not the end of the world, but good for Rob Thomson doing what he did. That's the way I see it. You tell me what you think, 215-592-9494. John, do you disagree with anything I said?
I feel strongly that being strong on this is important. I think, no, I don't disagree with anything. I think Topper needs to be strong on this. I think we are in accord, and that sickens me in many ways. But no, Topper, keep doing a good job like you're doing, and maybe then some. You know, like
because he's going to have to talk to Aaron Nola before the playoffs and say
he needs to talk to
you're
a
not
lot
going to get
of the
the
guys.
start. You know,
he needs to talk to a lot of the guys, and hopefully this can ease that process, because it doesn't feel like those talks are going to be easy to embark upon. You know, like the entry point for those talks. Yeah. Maybe this is a part of the way that you can get there. Hey, look, you know, Nick had his streak, and it was broken not because of his inability to play, but because of his inability to be a good teammate.
Yeah, to deal with it in the moment. Yeah, exactly.
So there are consequences in this clubhouse. This team need you to do this. Yeah. Something different. Play a position that maybe you weren't expecting to. Have a different role. Maybe you were not expecting. And that's as soon as this year. If we want to win this whole shebang, let's get real. This team needs some work.
So, look, we'll take your reaction to the whole thing. 215-592-9494, and what it represents now in the fourth year of Rob Thomson as you look back to what's been and as we look forward to what we hope will be, which will be a great deep run and a championship, but we don't know that it will be. I mean, they may not have the horses as hitters and relief pitchers. I mean, the bullpen was a disaster last night. It was horrendous. And you know it's going to be horrendous when you see those names out there, Ross and the such. I mean,
exactly.
It's just a horrendous bullpen.
You knew going in.
Horrible.
Tanner Banks. He's
all right,
coming
exactly.
Come on. Whoa. All right.
All right.
We bench him.
Yeah, exactly. 215-592-9494. You can watch our show on YouTube. Obviously, listen, as I know most of you are right now, regular radio or app. All good. We love it. What is your reaction to what Rob Thomson did, to what Castellanos did, and what you make of it? 215-592-9494. Phone calls on all this all day. Eagles, will get to it. We got a lot to do today, including a great prize on 94 WIP.